Are your kitchen and bathroom way overdue for a remodel? Well, I got the guy for you. Call John Sellers at First Response Contracting, 484-256-7136. Both residential and commercial services, and he's licensed and insured. Call him at 484-256-7136. First Response Contracting. Hello, this is Brad Weisman. You're listening to Real Estate and You. Today, we have a special guest. We have somebody I met a long time ago and did actually a video show with this guy. And, you know, the reason I brought him in is, his name's Brad, by the way, which is just an amazing name if you're asking me. But I brought him in because a lot of times people have questions about landscaping and what to do this time of the year. So I thought, who should I go to but none other than the experts from Newcastle Lawn and Landscape. And Brad Stephenson is here in the studio with me, and we're going to pick your brain, dude. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Really well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing really well. Thank you. You too. And you know, a lot has changed since last time we did a show.
Yeah.
You are now part of the ownership of Newcastle.
Yeah, so when we did the last show, I was just working in the field. So now I'm 50% owner with Brian Kukero. Brian Wise retired. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, we're still growing, still going, and got a lot of good people. And
I'm very happy for you. Very happy for you because you know, I know you work really hard, and I know everybody on your team works very hard. I hear nothing but great things about Newcastle, and I just love seeing the success.
Yep.
So let's dive into the landscaping stuff. And you know, I every time I look at my yard this time of year, it just doesn't look good. And it's amazing, you know, there's so much to do, and a lot of times I have questions on when to do it. You know, so one of the first things I want to talk about is, you know, what about the grasses? Those high, do they still call them pampas grass?
The pampas is.
I didn't call you a pampas ass, just so you know. I say pampas grass, whatever it's called.
It won't be the first time.
Yeah, I'm sure your wife probably calls you that a lot. But so basically, those big tall grasses that grow like crazy.
Yep.
When do you cut them back?
So usually in the fall, you're cutting them back. Now,
okay.
So there are some grasses that still give you some character through the winter that will stay upright. Some Carl Forrester grasses, that's miscanthus, will stay up.
Okay.
But now's the time, because the biggest thing, you want to start cutting them back now.
Before they get green.
Yeah, there's going to be new growth coming. I mean, heck, I'd have my windows down on the way here. I'm sweating in this vest, but I want to look like you.
Well, of course. Yeah, it's a Brad vest thing. Yeah,
Wear my glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got a pair if you need some.
But yeah, now's the time to cut them back before the green starts coming up. And again, you get a couple warm days, ground temperatures go up, and
they're going to start sprouting.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Now, that brings me to another question. So now they start sprouting, the green starts coming up. Do I have to worry about anything being out there that starts to grow because it thinks it's spring and all of a sudden we get a really bad frost again?
Yeah, there could be a chance there's going to be some burn back on those plants, but that's okay. And another thing too with grasses right now, they do have rings and grates that you can put in the ground. Now the ground was a little frozen. I don't know, depending on where you live.
Yes, it has been.
I live up in Wernersville. I just moved there.
Yeah.
And it's like a tundra. The snow has not melted. It's still
I'm from Wernersville area, so I understand that. I get it.
It's different.
It is different. It's different. It's a nice area, though.
It is, but it's depressing.
It's depressing. Why do you think I am the way I am? I have to do a podcast show just to have fun. And everybody's like, this is not fun. But yes, so the grasses and stuff. So the next thing then, when do we start calling you to come out and start doing your thing?
Usually our start time is the middle of March. I mean, that's when you want to cut some, we'll talk about it then, but cutting edges into grass and stuff. You don't want to go too early because if you get some rain, the edges start rolling over and you don't have that nice clean edge. But really mid-March is when we start rolling. In history, March 23rd is usually like the last chance of snow.
Right.
After that.
March 23rd. There's actually a date?
Well, it's my date.
Okay, that's interesting though. That's actually pretty cool because you know you're probably about right. If we do get a snow in March, it's usually going to be it's going to go away quick.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
The sun's high, it'll melt, but that's kind of like all right, the 23rd. That's when we're full bore. Bring everybody in. Let's go. You might have some late March snows or April, but you got to get things going.
Okay. So now I forgot, let's just say hypothetically, I forgot to trim my weeping cherry. Mm-hmm. And I know we have a picture of this actually to show. A weeping cherry, I forgot to trim it back in the fall. Is it okay yet to still trim that back?
Now's the time to trim branches back. Japanese maples will put on 4 or 5 inches of growth. And you can see from that picture that's already grown into the windows. Now's the time to cut some things back and make some selective cuts You don't want to top a tree, but make some selective cuts to bring it away from the building.
Yeah.
And that way there's circulation, there's air circulation with the building. There's no rot there.
Yeah.
But with the leaves on, you're not going to see it. And it's going to be hard to get in there and make some good cuts.
But it's okay yet. We're good.
Absolutely.
Yet to do
We'll
that.
trim through the winter.
Okay.
So tree trimming through the winter is actually the time to do it.
When do we hurt it? When do we hurt a tree?
So after it buds out and pushes, then you should probably wait until it hardens.
So leaves are starting to come out and it's just starting to get its thing going.
Yeah.
That's when it's probably it'll stress out.
It'll stress out. So late fall, winter is really the best time. It doesn't mean you can't.
Okay.
But if you are trimming a tree, you don't want to take off more than 25% of the canopy.
Okay.
Or else you could possibly kill the tree.
Yeah. And I have a couple trees actually now that are actually they're flowering pears, I believe. They're in the front of my yard. They've been hit by something.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's normal in this area, but the leaves are drying up real quick, like in the summer.
I might butcher this, but it may be anthracnose.
Oh, whoa. This sounds fun.
Is
there antibiotics for this? Have you had it long is what I want to know. How long have you had this? Really?
It's a
is it contagious?
6-week course is what you need to take.
No. Okay, good, great. So there's something, there's a bacteria, there's something that will kill.
Bacteria, it's fungus. There's all sorts of things that could be making the leaves brown. And a lot of times what we'll do is a fungicide.
I need to have you come out.
Yeah, so the crab apples will be hit too. So if you have leaves falling off of crab apples through the year, usually it's a fungus.
Okay.
And we have to do 3 treatments in the spring to keep that from happening.
Okay.
And it has to be I think it's bud break. So once the bud breaks, that's when you spray them.
Interesting. So let's go back into we were talking about the edging and things like that, and I think you have a picture that you wanted to show about what's the good things to do around this time of year. You said about edging the mulch and stuff.
Do you see how good that turf looks though?
I know it looks really good. Is that your yard?
That's our shop.
That's at your shop. That's nice. Very nice. Yeah.
So thick turf, really, really, really important. That's with lawn applications. It's building that turf up. But you can see the edge of that bed there. Now it's a little bit early to cut that edge, but as soon as March 23rd ish, get in there and start cutting your edges. And again, along the walkways as well. If you have grass growing over your walkway now, cut that. You can cut that back now.
Okay, you can do it right now. Cutting that back. Okay.
And then when you start trimming and mowing, you can keep that edge up. As the grass grows.
Gotcha. That's really cool. Awesome. So let's go. Speaking of mulch and all that stuff, I'm seeing people do less mulch or a mix of the river rock. Is it just an aesthetic look? Or is there a reason for that? Or is there benefits to the rock over the mulch?
I'm not a big rock fan.
You're not a rock fan?
No,
what, more R&B or rap?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
No, the rock, so I like the looks of it.
Okay.
The problem is around plants, it actually can hurt the plants because with stone, river stone, you're putting weed fabric down.
Yep.
And you're around the plants. And the weed fabric, you think, water can get right through it. It can, but it's going to halt that water getting through. There's get a lot more runoff. And then plus the heat of the stone under a plant could burn the plant.
Oh, never thought about the heat.
So maintenance wise, you're good. I mean, if you have a high maintenance area with not maybe perennials and stuff, but you have shrubs, we're not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
There's no benefits to it other than maintenance. Mulching.
What about a bank though? Like a steeper bank in order to have the mulch not wash out maybe or something like that? Yeah. So there's places applications where it makes sense maybe.
But on the mulching end, if you get a low grade mulch, it's going to wash.
Oh.
But if you have a triple shred hardwood bark mulch,
my gosh.
I got it at one try.
Holy, what the heck? I thought it was just called mulch.
No, I'm bringing out.
What is it again? I bet you can't say it again.
I probably can't.
What'd you say? Triple threat over with a Fetzer valve mulch?
Triple shredded hardwood mulch.
Okay, bark so what does that grab on? It holds on? Or?
So basically it knits together.
Oh, wow.
The bark is stringy. So when you put it down, it'll knit together and hold that bank better. If you get like a black mulch, it's ground up pallets. It's going to wash right off your bank. So don't use colored mulch on banks.
Guess what I used?
Yeah, it's probably because you didn't hire us.
Yeah, I know. I got to start. I got to start coming back to you guys. That's what I got to do. No, I do have work for you. I have some hardscaping that needs to be fixed that sank, and I have the trees need to be looked at for sure.
We didn't install.
I try to spread the love out. Yeah. I have to because of being same with you guys. Being in this business, you guys know 30,000 realtors.
Yeah.
You know, same with us. I know a ton of landscapers. Of course, you're one of my favorites. Let's just get that out there. But yeah, I had to have some work. So yeah, going back to the hardscaping, I do have hardscaping that's sinking. Can that be fixed?
Absolutely. And a lot of times with a freeze thaw, and I think I have a picture of this freeze thaw, and this is at our shop. But it's been in for since 2000.
But you guys put it there for that reason, to show you what you can do.
This is for.
So we're looking at hardscaping at his shop.
This is when I was still in the field installing stuff. So this is my fault.
I see.
So the edge settled along this step, and this happens a lot with when the sandlock starts breaking down. Water gets in there and starts washing out the setting bed.
Yep.
And that's when you have settling.
Okay.
So all you need to do is pull the pavers back, install some more base material, compact it, and then
because the pavers are still good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I love pavers.
That is the benefit of pavers. Concrete cracks, you can't do anything with.
What do you do then? You're jacking it up and repouring the whole thing.
Yeah.
I love pavers, and I got to tell you, my pavers have been in for 21 years now, and it's just finally, and you know where it is? It's at the slider.
Sure.
Where it comes up to the slider, it was starting to lean.
Yeah.
And now it's getting in there, it's washing everything out. So I have a couple places that you guys are going to have to come and take a look at and get fixed up for me.
We got a 15-week backlog, so you better get in soon.
So by January of 2023, I will have this all fixed up. It's going to be great.
Construction's blowing up.
So there's another landscape company I want to bring in next week that actually can get to you within a couple weeks.
Hey, listen,
just kidding.
We're friends with all landscape companies, almost all of them.
I'm sure you are. That's Berks County. I'm friends with all the realtors. Yeah, even if we work at different companies, who cares?
We've helped them grow.
Exactly.
Really. Like seriously,
I don't doubt that. Grow. So how is it going with getting people to work?
It really, like through COVID and everything, we didn't lose anybody, and
you're lucky.
It goes back to our culture. It's tough right now getting people, but you know we're meeting on a regular basis. You'll like this. We just started the Culture Club. All
Good for you guys. I played Keller Williams on Culture Club with great
George.
Band. Yeah, absolutely.
I was all excited. This is weird, but in the bathtub, I do all my best thinking.
Well, that's a little weird. Yeah. Okay. Let's not go too deep with this. Okay.
That's it. But so I started thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, like culture, like I'm the culture.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Plus we have a lot of really good people that spread it out, but we didn't have enough people. So
culture comes from leadership.
Let's get a culture club together.
Perfect.
We do disc analysis, so it's all of our eyes, all of our influencers are in the culture club. I got Santos as my president. I mean, they're killing it. So it's important to have.
Well, that's interesting because Keller Williams, the real estate company that I'm partners with, is all about culture.
Yeah.
And that's one of our biggest things. And you'll find that culture attracts.
Yeah.
You don't have to really recruit, it attracts.
Yeah.
And if you're saying the right things, doing the right things, actually more so doing the right things, not just saying the right things. Saying the right things are easy. It's easy to do. But doing the right things is completely different. And that is, you'll keep people.
Yeah.
You really will. And because they want to be part of that. You know, they want to be part of the culture and part of something that's growing and becoming something.
Yeah, you can't fake it.
You can't. That's so true.
It's got to be your heart. And it's been like, I love just growing people, and we just have really good people that want to grow.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
That's really good. So what else do we want to talk about here? We had some different things on here. Here's my big one. One of the things I cannot stand is thistle. So what is it with thistle? Like, I swear there could be a nuclear explosion of some sort, like an A-bomb going off, whatever. And the two things that would survive would be cockroaches and thistle.
Absolutely.
Why? Help me on this.
They're Satan's plant.
They really are. Yeah. And they hurt to pull them out.
They do. And when you pull them, it does nothing.
That's what I've heard.
They're tubers.
You're just pissing it off,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's going to come back 5 times.
Oh my gosh! So how do you get rid of this stuff?
So this is where you have to hire the professionals.
If you come in with a half a stick of dynamite, that'll be really funny. He's like, "Aaron, what you got to do is shove this dynamite down underneath the thistle."
Okay, but I can't tell you what I'm going to do. Then.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me what's the secret. I'd love to know.
Lawntrell is a chemical that will kill thistle. It's going to take at least 2 to 3 visits, but that's the only thing that will actually kill the root of the thistle. Roundup or any type of weed killer is just going to burn the top. You think it's great. It's going to come right back.
But if you read the label on that stuff, it says that when you get it on the leaves, it'll then travel to the root system.
Sure, and it will, but not thistle's too hardy for Roundup to kill.
Right?
You can You can try to mix it full potency that there's no water. You just pour Roundup granules on it. It won't die.
Well, this has become like, I feel like Caddyshack with the gopher because it's like me and Thistle, like y'all go out there and this stuff will grow to 5 feet, 6 feet tall in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. And there are different varieties too. So it's not, some of that might not be thistle. It might be something else. There's all sorts of weeds. They all look, can I tell you a story?
Please tell me a story. If it has to do with thistle, I'm fine.
It does.
Go ahead.
It does. So when I was 16 years old, I thought I knew everything. All right. So I was going to a church and a lady in the church asked me to come over and do some landscaping for her.
Oh, no.
So I go over and, I'm working around her beds and she has some azaleas and she's got some thistle growing up through her azaleas. So I'm yanking it out, laying it out in the yard. And I went up, I said, well, I can say her name. She's awesome. I said, Mrs. Casper, I took care of your thistle problem in your bed. She's like, I don't have thistle. I was like, oh, no, yeah, you do. It's over in the shrub.
Oh, no.
She looked out and she said, those weren't thistle. Those are my raspberries. So I ripped all her raspberries out.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So I have to see her every Sunday at church, and her son he still razzes me. I'm 46.
Was that because of raspberries he razzes you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the raspberry festival at the church had to be canceled, and I tried replanting them. It didn't work out.
So now every time he sees her in church, he brings her a thing of raspberries,
Oh, talk about 16 years old, thought I was like,
that is funny. That's really funny.
By the way,
what's that?
Did she pay or no?
Yeah, she did. She felt really bad. But I was so embarrassed.
That's a good story. Hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure these aren't raspberries, though, just so you know.
They're probably
if they were, I would really like
I know
them.
the difference between raspberries and thistles.
Now you do. You better. You're in the wrong business otherwise.
I learned from my mistakes.
So is there anything else you can tell us? We've actually blown through 16 minutes here, which is amazing. I'm going to have you come back on probably quarterly just to go over different things because this is a really good show. I'm really enjoying the information, actually. So is there anything else we should know coming out of winter, getting into that, pre-springtime? Anything that you can think of that say, hey, don't forget to do this or whatever? Yeah,
leaf debris right now is, again, any debris in the beds, get it out. Now's the time to look at drainage too. And I know when we did our show, I was talking about stucco and ground up against stucco and how the reverse drainage, if you're back draining towards your house.
Yes.
Now's the time to see that because the shrubs are back, everything's kind of flat. You can see how your grade is. You want to get the water away from your house.
Absolutely.
So there's a picture of just the leaf debris.
Yep.
But again, you're looking at the beds. If you have water in your basement, there's so much you can do with just changing the grade just to get the water to go the other direction.
You're so right. It's all about, we've talked about this when I used to represent Greth Homes. The thing was, it's getting water away from your house, not trying to stop it from coming in. You got to get it away.
Yeah, I mean, people put $15,000 drainage systems in their basement. They could have put a wheelbarrow of soil outside and it would have fixed it.
To go away from it, absolutely. Especially if you have stucco, because stucco actually wicks too.
And that's the thing. If there's not a weep screed in behind it, if there's wood down low, and then you have termites and everything else. So that's really something. Even stone veneer. It's not just stucco. Any type of veneer will have some plywood behind it. And you'll usually see if there's water wicking up because it'll pop with freeze thaw, the stone, and everything will pop. So you can
awesome. Those are all good tips, man.
I'm a wealth of knowledge.
You really are. It must run with the name. It has to run with the name and the vest, of course.
Absolutely. I'm sweating my butt off.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah, we don't have air conditioning down here, by the way. No. Yeah. So thanks for coming in, Brad. I really appreciate it. Brad Stephenson from Newcastle Lawn and Landscape, and they do everything. And I've seen your work. You guys do fantastic work. So if you're looking to get any kind of work done outside, you got to do it now. I would call now because they do have a delay in getting to you. And I understand that because there's a lot of people out here that need work done. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And
thank you.
Hopefully you'll come back again.
Absolutely.
All right. Are your kitchen and bathroom remodels a little overdue? Well, now's your chance to call First Response Contracting. John Sellers will take care of you. 484-256-7136. They do residential and commercial, and they're licensed and insured. Give them a call at 484-256-7136.